What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to my nonsense. So we're just finishing up chilling here at the truck stop, sort of, kinda. Got back yesterday and took off on the Harley and got a little bit of shit done. Went for a little ride with one of my friends, and her and I went out to dinner. That was about it. Came back here and fucking passed out. And then now I got my laundry all done and everything, showered up. And the laundromat is probably the worst part of this whole nomad lifestyle shit. It's not horrible, but I need to get in there earlier because this is like an actual laundromat that's in this truck stop. So people who are not truck drivers come and use it. And there's little kids running around everywhere and fucking people everywhere. And oh, it's kind of chaotic. And now I'm off to run some errands. I'm going to take this rig back out to the unit and get my Harley. It's pretty fucking cloudy around here today. I might end up a little bit wet. Take my Harley, run around, run some errands, and I'm going to get that shit to put that storage box on the back of this truck so I got more room to store some more shit in here. Dag nabbit, with the price of everything these days, fuck, I'm not going to be using like a real toolbox. I was going to put like a real toolbox behind there. I'm just gonna use one of those commercial Rubbermaid totes, man. Shit's already expensive enough. These fucking enforcer locks, right? Strong. Try cutting one with a torch one time, man. It's fucking, it don't work. But these things are fucking overrated, man. That's the second one I've had to do that. I didn't pay for this one. It's leftover from my pharmaceutical days. But last night I left this load sitting here, you know, and it's got a little something on it, you know. But I couldn't lock it up last night because I didn't have no fucking lock. And then I grabbed this little chintzy fucker from my storage unit, right? I ain't got no goddamn key for it. I don't know what to do with the fucking key. So ain't that some bullshit, huh? That sucks, man, because that's a nice lock. I don't lock my shit up very often, but occasionally. Turns out what I got in there. In this situation, I would have. But anyhow, this is what we're going to do right here, you see? We're just going to do one of these fucking brute totes, don't you think? Because all I need to do is just have a place to put my oil and my washer fluid and all that type of shit, and it'll free up that space underneath my bunk. As you can see, she's a little full, right? Which doesn't work. So every time you go get a strap out or a tool or something, man, all that shit comes flying out. It's a real clusterfuck. But check this out. You'd be amazed how many people go to storage units. I came here last night at like 10:30. There was like fucking 9 people up in this bitch. Like, what are you doing at the storage unit on a Friday night? What the fuck? Good life. Wait, why am I here? Anyway, I think those fucking battery bank APUs are the shit. You know, underneath that catwalk right there, you have, what the fuck they put in there? There are 4 or 6 batteries or something like that, plus your batteries for the truck. And those run your AC and your heat and everything, and they're fucking quiet. They don't make no noise. They just purr like a little kitten, right? So quiet. You know, I love the quiet. But here's another good thing about that. This particular truck, it doesn't do me any good. But see, they're putting shore power. See that? Shore power on these trucks now? That's actually a sailor term, right? So you can plug that bitch right into an outlet, right? And power the whole truck. What you can still do with this, right? So you can power everything in there. Does me zero amount of good because I ain't got no fucking heat or air conditioning without the APU running. And that's actually gonna kind of suck in the winter because, you know, most of the months really it's kind of chilly. I always kind of like the winter because I had one of those little diesel blown fucking heaters, you know, like we all got underneath the bunk. And all the trucks I ever had. So in the winter time, it's quiet. I don't have to have the APU running because you can run them without the APU. This carrier APU, you have to have the APU running to run the motherfucking heat. So I'm gonna have to listen to that loud bitch all year. But with that shore power, if you had a battery bank APU, you know, you can go to the campsite or wherever, your buddy's yard, plug in, and just fucking run all your AC and shit right off the power, man. Just stay in the some bitch. Because that's what I'm thinking about doing. Instead of that whole trailer park gig, buy me a nice little chunk of land up north, and probably like the first year just work on it, right? And then just bring the truck and trailer there and just live in the truck right there. little shower room, you know, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then get me a little tiny house built, because I was over to my buddy's house and he's got one, and we'll talk about that later, but they're pretty fucking cool. So here's the route I decided to go, because I'm a miser and I'm gonna save money. Like I said, I went with the tote, right? I think that was $23, something like that. Got 4 5/16 fender washers, couple 5/16 lock nuts, 2 1.25 inch 5/16 bolts, and then I got these pins to go in the ends. You could put 2 locks on it, right, on both sides, and maybe in the future I'm gonna regret not doing that. But man, if somebody's gonna go in there and steal my goddamn washer fluid and shit, that's pretty ridiculous. Fuck it. Because the other reason I don't want to do 2 locks is because then in the winter they get all gummed up and shit, and I go to fucking get something out and, you know, it's all pissy. Just mark me a couple holes with a black marker in the bottom, line her all up nice and straight, you know, because you gotta be nice and straight. We can't be walking around with no crooked shit. Put a little bit of alien tape on the washers so it keeps the water out. I don't know. I do think it's probably gonna leak water on top. I thought about putting some weather stripping up here, but it's just fucking washer fluid and oil, right? Voila, more storage space for what, 30 bucks? It's not too bad these days because everything's fucking expensive. You know, I always got my little tips, right? Check these out. Knipex cable cutters, right? Which is funny because when I bought these, I paid like 30 bucks for them. 65 motherfucking dollars at Lowe's, even though I did buy these about 20 years ago. But these are fucking cool because when you put those damn cable seals on, right? You know what I'm saying? They got to go in and find somebody to try, you know, fuck that. Snip, you done. See, now I can actually get in here and fucking get my shit out with everything not falling off the fucking side of the truck with all my cheap Road Pro tools that I carry on the road. You know, I got a bunch of Mac shit, but I ain't bringing that on the road because if I ever have to abandon the truck for some reason, you know, I ain't fucking carrying a damn toolbox on the airplane, dude. Trying to get through TSA with a toolbox, probably not happening, dude. And then these little storage boxes you get at Walmart, nice, they work great. Got a couple straps in there because I usually don't use more than 2, but we got a couple more in here. Actually, I'm missing one now that I think about it. And you know, see what I'm saying? It holds quite a bit. You got all your lubricant down there, sometimes you need that for your slide tracks and shit. Coolant, oil, washer fluid, and in the winter time I'll be able to stock up because you burn through the washer fluid like a fucker in the winter. And I kind of got a little question for some of you flatbedders, if you got any flatbedders watching the channel. First of all, I got respect for you guys, man. You can't back up worth of shit, most of you. Just joking. But anyway, I got respect for you guys because, first of all, the work you put in when you're strapping down a load, and then it's kind of like a form of art, you know? Like, you got all this different shit, and it takes a little bit of skill, you know, to fucking, like, strap it down. And then when you guys tarp, some of your shit's, like, real tight, nice, and then you got some other asshole, his tarp's all flopping out, and you can't even see out of his mirror and shit. So that just goes to show how good you good guys are, and ladies are, at it, because it looks all like a fucking perfectly wrapped present. I wouldn't fuck with it myself because it's just too much work and I get all sweaty and all that shit, and you know how I feel about that. But I got a question for you guys. Do people steal your shit? Like all your chain binders and chains and shit that you got behind the cab? I noticed some people lock them on there, but I know some people don't. And I'm just wondering, throw it in the comments or send me an email or whatever you want to do. I'm just wondering how often people steal shit off your trucks. Because those fucking chain binders and chains and shit, they would add up to quite a bit of money, really. Well, nobody got in my trailer last night. That's a good thing. Because that'd be a fucking bunch of paperwork and bullshit, huh? There's some good shit in there, I'm telling you. Anyway, let's go. We got the floors all fucking armor all and shiny. The mechanics used to hate it when I did that because they'd pull it in and be all slippery and shit. And then I'd be bitching like, don't be getting the grease all up in my truck, motherfucker. No crybaby me, you know. But I'm gonna go ride my bike, get warmed up nice. It's actually fucking hot and humid. I was hoping to get away with not taking another shower tonight so I could save my damn $10. And I was gonna hit one tomorrow on the road for free, a Pilot, but I don't know. I was gonna sleep here tonight. I think I'm gonna be a little sweaty. I actually do believe I'm gonna run over to Lake Michigan and see what the fucking temperature's like. I might come back here and get me some swim trunks. Take a little dip. The dawn of a new week. I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling it. Today won't be that bad because, you know, it's Sunday. I don't got to be in Iowa till tomorrow. I could technically chill out here and like go do something for a few hours, but might as well just get this bitch rolling and get out there and get parked, you know. So, you know how the truck stops are. The later you get there, the less parking there is. But with this company here, I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be here. But, you know, once you get like tomorrow, for the rest of the week, they're fucking bam, you know, like you got your 10 hours down, you're working, drop and hook and switch and go. Really ain't got shit for time, you know. You stop and take a minute to grab some food, you know, fuel, usually shower on your 10-hour break, because you don't have time to do that in between loads. It's a little different than what I'm used to, you know. I'm used to long hauling, stop and take a shower and shit. I went over to one of my female friend's house to stop by there, visit with her a minute, you know, and hang out and all that. And then I'm like, so, hey, mind if I take a shower? It's just so not how I've ever been. I don't even stay at people's houses and shit. Like, even when my kids were all young and I was married, when we'd go out to my mom's house, you know, for the weekend, like 4th of July weekend or something like that, we wouldn't even stay in the house. We'd bring our RV and stay out in the yard, you know. I'm just like that, pretty independent, and I didn't feel like running all the way to truck stop. So she was like, you know, no problem if I could take a shower. And then one of my other friends, I went and visited her, and I'm like, how you feel about giving me a haircut? Just out fucking mooching off everybody. So she did my haircut and all that, and then I went up and see my buddy. You know, I said we'd talk about the tiny houses later, so a quick backstory on him. For one, he ain't broke, man. Like, they used to move houses and shit back in the day. That shit pays a lot. He's getting out of the system, you know, he got out of the system. And the backstory on him is that, you know, they had a house, it was like a brick house, right? Underground sprinkling, building, in-ground pool, in-ground hot tub, you know, all that shit. It had a pole barn big enough to park a fucking semi in, and then it had another one that was like a 40 by 40, and then it had an attached garage to the house, you know, if it gives you an idea. It was a nice fucking place. And him and his wife, probably about 4 years ago now, seen all this shit going on, they were like, fuck this, we ain't even dealing with all this shit. But you ever see on like the internet or something, like they'll move like those big churches or like houses or something like down the road, where they take down all the red lights and everything, and they do like this huge building move to like, you know, save historic buildings and shit. That's what he used to do. I used to see him when I first moved out there, and he was still working. That fucker be driving down the road with a goddamn house behind him, like a full-size fucking house. I was like, damn. But that shit pays a lot. But they went to get out of the game, so they sold that house off, and then they kept their land, and they bought a trailer down in Florida, and then they built a tiny house up here, right? It's basically a shed. And they did a real good job on it. It's nice, and the inside's just small, you know. So I was up there, and I was taking a look at that, and I'm like, yeah, that's the way to go right there. I think that's what I'm going to do instead of a trailer park. But to give you an idea, this one right here is kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe a little bit bigger, you know, not much bigger. But and then you throw a couple more windows in it. It's got loft area in the top to, you know, store shit up there. And then just throw a shower, a toilet, a sink, small kitchen area, bed, little table area. I don't even know if I fucking even worry about having like a living room area. When I had my apartment, I spent most of the time in my bedroom fucking sitting on the bed watching Netflix and shit. So, and you can still get land up north, and that's where I want to be anyway. That's where I'm from. So that's the route I believe I'm going to be going on that one. We got some time, you know. Got to get through this whole winter and all this and get the money all built up to do it. But do all that shit for cash, like I said. Let's be done with it. And I know multiple people that are going out of the game or out of the system. It used to piss me off when I had my house, you know. My house was paid off, right? Which is kind of a fucking thing, you know. I had my house paid off at like 33 or something like that, 34 years old, $260,000 house. Then, you know, now a $260,000 house, whoopty shit, right? But that was kind of an achievement. It was something we were proud of and worked hard to do. A lot of time behind one of these fucking wheels. And even once we got the son of a bitch paid off, we had fucking taxes, property insurance, you know, so you still had like $400 a month, which I know ain't shit for a mortgage, but you're paid off. And you still gotta pay the government $400 fucking dollars a month just to have your fucking house. You know, it's like, fuck you. And the tax guy used to come and try. My dog was mean, like mean as fuck. He almost got shot once. The cops almost shot him because they came over because the neighbor burned down the other neighbor's house and they're investigating it and everything, and the dog came out and the fucking and you just hear click click click. The fucking holsters coming undone. I'm like, no, don't shoot my dog, don't shoot my dog, I'll get him in the house. But my dog wouldn't let nobody in the fucking yard. He'd bite you too. We ended up having to put him down because he was biting us. But the tax guy would try to get up in there and see what the fuck I had going on back there, and the dog wouldn't let him. And finally, you know, you build a new deck, they raise your taxes. You know, put new siding on, they raise your taxes. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, let's get this bitch fired up and fucking do a pre-trip. Get rolling. First delivery of the week, and it looks like it's gonna be a minute here, huh? What the fuck? And I'm alright with that, because that's the nice thing about day pay. I don't have to sit here and sweat it and be like, fuck man, I gotta get out of here and get my miles. It's actually kind of the opposite. I'm like, cool, I get to sit here and bug around for a little while. You know, and I'm getting paid. The company seems to be pretty happy. They're getting paid, so life's good. Everybody's happy. But these guys, these truck drivers, let me tell you about these truck drivers. These guys are all jammed up down there. They got each other all blocked in. You can't get through. The whole 9 yards. Me and 5 other guys, we're parked down here where there's plenty of room. It's 100 yards, man. 100 yards from here to the shipping office. But they got to jam up down there. About 10 of them. Because they're too lazy to walk that far. You just sit here and watch stuff. And people just make everything so complicated. Like these guys, you know, you couldn't wait for that guy to pull that trailer out before you had to get in there and get in his way like that. It's like, calm down, man. Just calm the fuck down. God damn, it's such a hurry. I think the industry would be a lot better. And I think it's actually heading in that direction. Look around, do some research on it. I'm not just talking shit. If trucking stopped paying by the mile and it started paying either monthly salary or weekly salary, I've had that. It didn't work out for me because, like I said in the past, that company was fucking shady the way they prorated shit. But they were a shady company. I knew it when I got there. I think if the trucking industry stopped paying by the mile, it would do just so much for a lot, you know, for everybody. Because it'd be safer, for one, because people ain't, you know, doing stupid shit to try to get paid. They would take out all the anxiety and anger and frustration and shit that goes on in these parking lots and stuff. Because you can chill out a little bit. You know, just all kinds of different things. And then you'd have, like, guaranteed pay. And if the company's not efficient enough, you know, say, for instance, like, I get $300 a day. If they're not efficient enough to make that work out for them, then fuck them. They need to get out of trucking, man. Trucking's a cutthroat motherfucking business, man. It ain't no bullshit. And if they can't arrange their shit correctly to compete at paying a driver $300 a day, they ain't got no business owning a trucking company. A lot of these companies, what they want to do is they want to fucking just screw you over, you know, and try to cut their losses or whatever by fucking the driver over. Ain't that bullshit? The driver's the one that's actually doing the work, right? Pretty much. I mean, yeah, they're dispatching and they're getting the loads and stuff, don't get me wrong, but you're the one that's out here still working when they're out of work at 5 o'clock, you know? And you're the one that's up working when they ain't even got out of bed yet. They got regular fucking jobs. Yeah, you make more money than them. Not the owners. The owners make more money, but make more money than the office people. But yeah, we work a lot harder. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. What do you think about this whole Yellow, man? Huh? You think it's inevitable that they go out of business? I don't know. We'll see. It might be. I don't know if I agree with all that shit. The government giving them like $700 million or something because they're too big to fail. Man, I don't know. The government be meddling around and all that bullshit all the time. Let fucking nature take its course, man. Yeah, I understand. Yellow makes up like 6% or 9% or something like that of the entire LTL market. That's pretty big, right? But don't underestimate the private sector. Fuck. Like...
Volume is at 10%.
I guess every time you swear... Let's try it again. Fuck. I don't know. They don't do that a lot. Like if I'm talking on the phone, it's just when I'm making fucking YouTube videos. So anyway, you take like this company for example, right? They got 48 trucks. Yellow goes out of business. All that freight goes onto the market. This company right here, dude, they're going to be buying more trucks. They're going to be hiring more drivers. This is just one. Tons of companies are going to do that. Yeah, it might be kind of a shit show transition, but trust me, the companies that are in business, they'll make up for it. They'd be more than happy to buy more trucks, trailers, and get drivers. Take on that fucking freight. Let it happen. If Yellow can't...
Main menu.
Alright, fuck you. This is ridiculous. Shut up. Damn. Let it fucking take its course, man. If Yellow can't run their company efficiently enough to make a profit and be economically viable, there's an issue there. You can't just keep bailing them out. That union shit, fuck, I'm kind of torn on that. I used to be union. I was a welder and a fabricator. I bet you guys didn't know that. I can read blueprints and shit and build machinery. A lot of people always ask me why the fuck I drive a truck. I do this because I like doing it. And you want to know one of the main reasons I like doing it? I talked to one of my female friends this morning before I took off. And she was just bitching about her job. She works in a shop, And all these people and all that drama and all that bullshit. I don't want nothing to do with it. I did my years on that, man. This is my shit right here. I got to deal with nobody hardly ever. Walk in and deal with a shipper, receiver, a guard, maybe another truck driver every now and then. All my dispatch comes right over the fucking Jarman. I never talk to them. I don't even have to tell them I'm here. They know I'm here. My next load will pop up here in a minute. That's just how it is. This place is like no nonsense. Just fucking send me my loads. I don't even got to respond. I just go and do it. They track me. I like being tracked. It's better than having people call you all the time. But that's why I don't do none of that fucking bullshit. Because I don't like dealing with the people. So anyway, if y'all fucking goes out of business, damn, that'll fix the whole trucking thing right up, huh? Imagine all that freight going on to the fucking market. Rates will go through the roof. And actually, freight rates and tender rejection, that shit's all going up right now. Seems to me like we hit the bottom and we're on our way back up. I try to keep it real a little bit, I never said there was no trucking bloodbath. Go back and watch my fucking video what I said about the market. Right? I think I made that like a year ago. I was spot the fuck on, bitches. I was. Go back and watch it. I got a lot of views on that one. For me. And I was spot the fuck on. What I said was going on is what happened. And I'm not saying like I'm the sharpest tool in the fucking shed. It's just not that complicated. This really is not a fucking complicated industry. It isn't. It's a very competitive, very tough industry. But it's not complicated. Think about it. You put shit on a trailer. You take shit out of a trailer. It's not that fucking hard. So yeah, I think that, things are going to be on the up and up. It's kind of like when nature goes through and burns down a forest. It cleans it up. Different things in nature, It's the same thing with the whole trucking deal, man. Came through and weeded out the wheat. Especially after COVID coming and a bunch of people jumping in the market, like, oh, look, honey, there's, money in trucking. I'm going to buy a fucking truck. I don't know anything about trucking, but I'm going to buy a truck. And now all of a sudden they're like, what do I do? This is only paying $1.80 and it costs me $1.85 to operate the truck. Well, you get out of it. You know what I'm saying? You dipshit. Why you take a shit for $1.80? I don't know. I don't know how any of that works, right? Sprung a little coolant leak on this brand new rig right here on my APU. I thought I smelled some coolant, so I pulled over to check it out. I had a little drippity drip. And then I turned the fitting and it was fucking gushing out of there. So it's a good thing that I pulled over right then. Otherwise it came loose and I'd have run out of coolant and not been able to go. But I just had to tighten up the fitting and stop and get some coolant because I didn't have none with me. Shame on me. I normally always have some, and I probably said something in one of my videos about how dumb it is not to have coolant with you. One of those days in trucking where I am thankful to be on day pay, man. 5 hours at the receiver getting unloaded, and then some douchebag trucker rolled his truck on I-80 on a clear, sunshiny day with no cars involved and blocked the whole road, so they shut her down. I had to detour through Liberty City and all that bullshit in Iowa. That cost me $1.50 right there, so it's been a big loss of hours today, let me tell you. And if I was on mileage, I'd be like whining way more than I normally do. But I'm in the back row here at the TA, and it's already 66 degrees, so it looks like we can sleep with the windows open tonight, as long as one of them goddamn reefer drivers don't come pulling up here next to me. I pulled reefer half of my career. I know how it goes. You gotta park where you gotta park. But hopefully I never have to really pull reefer again, because, to getting unloaded with them fucking things is always like late night appointments, and there's always a fucking line, and you got that sumbitch back there running all night long. Fuck reefer. Doesn't pay anymore, really. But never say never, man. You never know, right? If I gotta get a job and that's all they got is reefers, I'll be pulling a fucking reefer. If all they got is tanks, I'll be pulling a fucking tank. If all they got is Conestoga, I ain't doing that. And if all they got is flatbed, nope, not flatbed. I'll do hazmat, though. I ain't doing doubles either. Fuck doubles. In the wintertime, fuck doubles. This shit's just getting right down fucking sad out here, right? We see this, don't we? So this fellow over here that everybody's waiting on to get out of the dock must be new. And I'm not trying to be a dick, man, because I was new once too, but somebody got to train these motherfuckers, man. I'm not even saying it's that dude's fault, right? Because if you start a job, like if I go become whatever, right, a fucking sign installer, then someone has to train me how to install signs, right? I got common sense, but so what we got going on over here is this dude's truck won't hook to that trailer. And the reason that it won't hook to that trailer is because that trailer is dropped too high. And that happens. And you've all been there. If you're a trucker, you back down there and it goes clank clank and it don't fucking latch, right? And you get out and you crank the trailer down and voila, bam, you're locked up and ready to fucking rock and roll, right? Alright, so it won't hook up. So what's he do? He goes in and gets the fucking guy off the shipping dock. It's a pretty sad world that the truck driver training is so bad that you have to go get the guy that's operating the forklift on the shipping dock to come out and show you how to do your fucking job. I think that's enough bullshit for this week. You guys know what to do. Hit all them buttons, send me some comments, send me some emails, send me some content, make a video, send it over, I'll put it on my channel. I keep saying that. And I think we'll end with this video here. Check out this video, how many dogs are up in this truck, man. Some people love their dogs, but that's a lot of dogs and a lot of people in one tiny ass truck.